In this video, we are going to use Airtable Scripts to resize and compress images, all within Airtable. We've got a special guest, an old friend of mine is joining us all the way from New Zealand. Matt wrote our Airtable script and he's going to show us a demo and he's going to walk us through the code so that you can apply it to your own Airtable bases. With that, let's dive in. Matt, really excited to have you on the channel. I know I've been wanting to have you on the channel for since the beginning, and Matt and I have known each other for 10 years. So thank you, Matt.
Yeah. No worries. Thank you.
All right. So we are inside of Airtable. I have cut out a lot of fields. So it's really simple. We've just got a name. We've got an original image, and then our two image sizes that we're trying to create. We've got our large and our small image, which we are calling large web and small web. And then we've got this button that hooks up to the script that Matt created. So let's just take a quick look at what happens. So when we click create images, what happens is the script runs, and with one click, we now have two images that have been added to the row where we clicked the button. And if I click on, I can see we have the headshots that are different sizes. So this is working perfectly. Matt, I'm going to dive into the app. I will drive, but why don't you walk us through the code and you can tell us what's going on inside the app. All right, so here we are in the code. Tell us about what's going on.
Okay, so the basic concept is that we're going to take that original image. Airtable gives us a URL for that, and we're going to pass that off to this service called Kraken that is then going to process it, and it's going to send us back both of the resized images at the same time. And we're going to take those URLs that they've sent back, and we're going to put it into the fields in Airtable, and Airtable is then going to have a copy of those images. So yeah, we're doing two sizes. So the top part of the script, we've got all the settings that you might need to change. Starting off with the API keys and the API secrets. So at the moment, we've just got some placeholders there. When you sign up to a service like Kraken, you'll put in your values in there. And then we move down to the field name. So these are the Airtable field names. So we've got the one where the original image is stored. Then we've got the large one, which was large web. And we specify what the size is that we want there. And so this is a width, and this is the maximum width that we want that image to be. So in this case, the large is 630 pixels. The small is 416. If we wanted to have a medium or some other size, you could then copy both of these, and it would be another pair there. Yeah, exactly like that, Kyle. So you can just specify what that field name is in the Airtable and also what dimension you want.
Cool.
So yeah, pretty easy. Okay, so scrolling down a bit. This is the bit where we are pulling out the value from Airtable for the URL of the original image. So we need to have a table variable, which is our employees table. And then we have a little bit of code here, which just makes sure that you're pushing the button next to a person. And yeah, there's a couple of ways of running scripts. So it's just a good idea to have this there just in case you run it from the side window. It will then prompt you just to pick an employee first. And this is just an employee is equal to a row.
Okay, so the record is our row.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. And then we just got to make sure there's actually an original image has been uploaded. Otherwise, we'd be running into errors when we're trying to send off that URL to the Kraken service. So again, just a little bit of validation checking here. And we're just putting our messages out into the console there. You can put them out as text, which is that line below. You can comment out this stuff altogether, but it's just good to know why it went wrong.
Great.
All right, so then First of all, we need to get that URL of the image we want to resize. So we're using that record variable. Don't worry about those red squigglies. That's just, yeah, it's just sort of some recommendations, but all totally works. So yeah, don't stress about that. The return has a squiggle there. Just ignore it. It all works. It's just part of the way that they recommend to do stuff. So yeah, so we use our record. We use get cell value. And that original field name. So that's a variable that we've specified up above, and that's also you don't have to make any changes in this code below those settings at the top. And what we're after is it's an array, and we want the URL of that. So yeah, we're getting the first element in the array. So
Right.
once we've got that URL, oh yeah, was there a question?
No, that's great. So what I'm liking about this is how we're setting all these variables up here. We're setting the name, we're setting the field names, the widths, and we're not actually having to really change anything below. So this, when someone is updating and copying this code, really all they need to do is make sure that the things at the top in this settings you change, this is where you update all your stuff.
Yeah.
You don't,
if you just
you
want
shouldn't
two
even worry
images,
about.
yeah, if you just want two, which is most cases, you don't have to change anything else in the rest of this. You can just run. So yeah.
Nice. I suppose it's worth noting that you'll want to make sure that you update these to the field names, to the column names. So
Yeah,
that would be the only thing you'd need to change, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, that's it for
So
sure.
I think we're right here to call the Kraken.
That's right. So we so all these images, they work with URLs. We don't actually have to get hold of the raw image data or anything like that. It's just using URLs, which is yeah, basically the Kraken service it's a REST service, and we're just going to be using this post method. We're then basically sending some stuff to them, which is some authorization stuff, which is that top bit. We're telling them that we do want to wait. So that's why you'll see a little spinner while this is happening till it's done. Lossy is a type of image compression, and we're just saying that it's okay to compress it down and lose a little bit of the image quality. You won't really normally notice that with like the naked eye. It's just that if you really want to get good compression, it's what we need. And the URL, that image to resize URL is what we've pulled from that original field in our Airtable. Now, the cool thing about the Kraken service is it allows us to specify both or multiple, up to 10 actually, different sizes that we actually want them to resize our images to. And so if you did add a medium, you would just need to add another section here. And you can see there that we've also got, yeah, you're going to add one? Yeah, sweet. So just change that to say medium. And now that's a name that we'll be working with a little bit later. So yeah.
If we had medium, I suppose I would need to update this variable here to match whatever I created up here.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So I will just get rid of that.
Yeah. I think it's also worth pointing out that strategy property that we're going with strategy landscape. So the Kraken service has so many different strategies, and it's all about how you want it to resize, if you want it to be cropped smaller, or if you want to keep the whole image. For us, we want to specify the width, but the height can be whatever. I think you're going to add links in the description, Kyle, is that right? So you'll be able to jump into the documentation and have a look at those different strategies. But this is the easiest one, and again, it suits most use cases.
Great.
There's a couple of extra little headers that just are in the send, and that's just to let them know we're passing JSON and we expect JSON back.
This was a spot I tried monkeying around with this on my own, and this was a spot where I got tripped up. So you went in and you understood all the curl and all the stuff, and that was over my head. So
yeah, headers are just a little bit of extra stuff that gets sent. It's sort of a little bit separate, but it's all in the same request. And yeah, sometimes there's security stuff in there. In this case, just talking about what the format is of what we're sending.
Cool.
So sorry.
No, and then so what are we doing last? We basically
so
sent all our data to Kraken,
yep,
told it what we wanted,
yep,
and our last bit here is kind of connecting the dots.
is what comes back. Yeah, yeah. This is what comes back from Kraken. And what we want to do is get like in the JSON format there. So we've called it returned images is our variable that's going to be holding basically everything that gets sent back. And again, we've got a couple of console stuff there that we just to output it, just to see. So I think you'll see when we run it that the console items do appear on the right-hand side, and you can just sort of see what the structure is and all that. Sends back a lot of stuff, including the size it was originally and the size it's been sending it back and all that, and the heights and all that. And sometimes you might need to actually save some of that information into your Airtable. I don't know, it might be useful.
Yeah.
But for us, we just need the resized image URL, and so that's what we grab. So if we look little bit further down, we can see the bit where we're adding them. Airtable calls them attachments, and we're putting them in to the small field and the large field. And you can see there that there's some extra square brackets and stuff. That's because attachments are arrays. You can add more than one. And you can see there that we specified the URL property. That's all you need when you're setting one URL, and then it's called returned images. Then there's dot results dot, and then this is the other critical bit. If you do want to add another one, you can see it's got results dot small and results dot large. So we're going to add a results dot medium. Yep. So the medium field name there, and then over on the right hand side, just change that small to medium. Yep. And the resize.
We put this medium here is because we had this ID. This one up here that was called medium, right?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Kraken URL is their, resized image, and they do their optimization at the same time as resizing. So that's really good too. A couple of the other services we used, they had a sort of 4-step process just to do a resize, and then another 4-step process to do the optimization as well. So it just would have made this script a whole lot longer, a bit harder to maintain. You can absolutely do it, but it's just going to be a lot more complicated. Whereas in this is super easy, and you can do it just for I think the other services they need you to do a step for each size, basically a set of 4 steps for each size you want.
And it's that convenience. It's probably worth letting everyone know that convenience does come with the price. Kraken is a paid service. You get some free testing. You get like 100 megabytes of free testing data, but otherwise it's $5 a month. So for their lowest tier, and I think you get 500 megabytes of optimized images. So know that it is a paid service, but if you are doing any number of compressions or resizes, I mean, that can be 20 minutes here, an hour there, and all of a sudden, what's your time worth? And so I think for the amount of time that we're able to save doing this seems totally worth it for $5, in my opinion.
This is still a good starting step. If you did want to use another service, you still need to pull the value out of Airtable and send it to the service, and the service is going to send you something back. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. That was a good kind of overview. So everyone, you'll be able to copy this code from our site, from the No Code Collab site, copy it, update the variables, add your API key, your secret key, both from Kraken, update the original field names. If you're just doing 2, you can pretty much just update these 5 variables. If you want to add more, you would add more like we've shown as we're going along the way. Otherwise, once you are done, you can you just click the button to create images, and then boom, your images will update. So
do you want to just quickly expand that results in the console log? That was one of the things, that height, that one there. So just keep expanding that. You can see. So that was for the small. So the file name, the original size, all that stuff there. So if you have it at a medium, you'll see another one there. And these are all properties that you can get back.
Cool. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. So hopefully that tutorial is helpful and you now have a better idea of how to actually incorporate scripts into your Airtables so that you can compress and resize your images all with the click of a button. Huge shout out to Matt for creating the script. Go check out Matt's website, his company, BLZ or BLZ, depending on what part of the world you're in, blz.co.nz. And thank you, Matt, for coming on. It's been great seeing you, and thanks for all your brains.
Yeah, that was good.
Hopefully we can get you on again and do another video, huh?
Sure.
Another tutorial. Awesome. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this has been helpful. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and we will see you at the next tutorial.